Well, hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Forbes Riley, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Kevin Harrington. Now, Kevin, you'll recognize as one of the original sharks on Shark Tank, and he's one of this country's leading entrepreneurs.
And Forbes is a celebrity television host as well as a fitness and health expert. And, you know, Forbes, we got an interesting subject today. You know, we both have kids.
Right.
Do you ever think about when they go to school about the safety and about the nutrition and things that around the food when they're there, right?
It's funny because I think about the nutrition, but I never ever thought about the safety part. And that's why this is really important.
We have a couple of experts today from
right.
Southwest Systems. It's a company that specializes in food safety and food nutrition, and Bart and West Christian. Welcome,
Father
guys.
and son.
Tell us about how you got involved in this. I know you've been 20 years in the industry. Tell me how you got started.
Well, first I want to say it's such an honor to be here to share our passion for school nutrition and for food service and the great work that these people do, because you know a lot of people take for granted that the food that their kids are being served every single day is healthy, but also that it's safe to eat.
I never thought about it. This is fascinating to me because you have some statistics that are frightening.
Well, I mean, all in all, in schools, the food that they're serving is relatively safe.
Right.
However, the CDC every single year estimates that around 76 million Americans get sick from eating in food in general. Over 300,000 of those Americans are hospitalized, and over 5,000 Americans every single year die. So our mission is really to make sure that schools maintain the impressive record that they've already established in serving safe food to our nation's youth.
Oh, it's absolutely way more important than we realize.
Absolutely.
And you speak about this, don't you?
I've been blessed to get a chance to talk to school groups all across the country, literally hundreds of groups and thousands of people. I started out talking about school nutrition school food safety issues to school nutrition groups, and then sort of grew into talking about things like dealing with difficult people, communication. Actually grew into writing a couple of books, and now I spend a great deal of time kind of hoping to inspire school nutrition workers, because you know I made it kind of my mission to make people understand the very valuable work that these people do every single day, but all that to make them understand how important they are, not only to their schools, but their communities and the habits they're teaching their kids that are going to carry on for decades, really, to their children's children and possibly their children's children.
So you guys have developed these training systems for school staff around the nutrition and food safety issues, right?
Exactly.
And how does that work? Tell me about the systems.
Well, what we did is we started out providing, it's a very interesting story. We started out providing a very small amount of products and realized that to differentiate ourselves from other competitors, it would be a good idea to offer some other services. And so we started doing training on safety, food safety, began doing worker safety training, grew into doing a lot of other type of HACCP-related training, which is HACCP is hazard analysis or critical control points. It's a function that a lot of healthcare facilities use, and a couple of years ago USDA implemented it into schools to just another safety level. And we realized that when USDA implemented that into the schools, it was something that would be good to train them on.
Now, Wes, you know, your dad talked about hoping to influence people. In his world, he's a rock star, isn't he?
You know, I love my father, and one of the reasons that I love him is because he's so humble. And, you know, just to kind of, you know, tell you a little bit about what he does, I mean, he is literally an icon in the school nutrition industry. And, you know, I actually got into this by accident. I never really intended on getting into this industry. I got into this because I went to help him at the talks that he was doing when he was traveling all over the country. I mean, we've been to talks with, you know, 5 people in the group, a small workshop, and I mean, I've seen him talk on stages with over 2,000 people before.
Wow.
And, you know, I'll tell you, one particular time we were in Kentucky. You remember the Kentucky talk? We went to Kentucky. It was a particularly hot June day, and it was early in the morning, and the time change from the West Coast to Kentucky really had me jet lagged. I was not really super excited to get up. I'm standing in the back of the room watching him do his thing, and this is the turning point for me. After the talk, I had one particular lady, her name was Judy, Miss Judy, comes up to me and she has tears in her eyes. She says, "Are you the son?" Because at the end of the talk, he mentions my mom, my little sister, and myself. She says, "Are you the son?" I said, "Yeah, I am." She hugged me and she starts to cry. And I get chills telling the story because she starts to cry and she tells me about how much his message really touched her. And, you know, that's when I knew that what he was doing was special.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
And how about enrolling your son in this? Look how passionate, how excited he got talking about you, Dad.
You know, what it is an honor to work with not only my son, but have a partner that is so sharp and and you know, you wonder, he takes after his mom. I guess.
Yeah.
That's about the best thing I
You're
can
the
say.
founder, and you've been doing this 20 years, and so now, West, you're the operations chief of the company?
So with Southwest Training Systems, I handle all of our day-to-day operations. And you know, we have been very successful in what we've been doing in the Southwest region, but you know, demand was really getting to us. And with handling operations, we were getting requests from people that knew about us from his speaking all over the country to do similar programs. But just logistically, it was almost impossible for us to have our brick and mortar operation in the Southwest, but handle calls that were coming in from Wisconsin and Florida and North Carolina. So we really had the desire to work with a program and develop a program where we could give the same type of training and same type of services that we had established at Southwest Training Systems and give it nationwide.
Yeah. The health and safety of our children is probably the most important thing for parents, right?
Yeah.
So the government has actually mandated that there's training that gets done for all of the workers inside kitchens in schools now, correct? Is that a new law that's passed?
Exactly right. A couple of
Yeah.
years ago, the USDA passed in the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act. One of the things that they passed was that there would be mandated training every year for schools in the areas of food safety and nutrition and in professional growth.
And you now provide that online. People, you don't have to actually go into the school to provide that, correct?
Exactly. We've taken training that we've been doing for the last 20 or 15 years and throughout the Southwest, taken those lesson plans, put them online, not only in Spanish, but also, not in English, but also in Spanish. And also taken some of the talks that I've done, cut those up and made them available in 15-minute snips and snaps so that people can go on and quickly pick up the required training.
I think this goes a little bit beyond wash your hands and
Exactly.
leave the restroom.
Well, but you know what's actually very interesting, because we've talked to some of the people that you work with. There's a feeling once someone's gone through your training that changes in the school itself, like in the cafeteria. What kind of changes can you help share with us?
Well, I mean, one thing in particular is just the fact that our program is so easy to use. I mean, everything that you need is in one centralized location. You know, the problem with a lot of different education tools out there right now is that a lot of them aren't geared towards schools. There are a lot of different trainings and different opportunities, but you got to go find them. You got to go search on multiple different sources to find the trainings that you need in order to meet the regulations. And then the other problem is no one tracks it for you. So you've got to develop your own tracking tool in order to be able to keep track of all of your staff members. And I mean, folks, there are sometimes hundreds of people in these school districts. I mean, I don't know if you can even, it's hard enough keeping track of what he's doing on a daily basis.
Right.
More or less keep track of 100 people's trainings over the course of an entire school year. So that's the main thing, is just the ease of use of our program.
But then you've also created camaraderie with the people going through it. That seems a very unusual and a very heartfelt bent to your company, correct?
Right, and what he's done is he's developed, and I got to give him credit because he's the, I've developed a lot of content,
right,
and for the website, but content's great, but you got to be able to access it and you got to be able to use it. And Wesley's made it in a very usable fashion, and but it's we've taken it and made it fun, because our theme, my theme for when I speak and for the books I wrote is simple solutions. Keep things simple, and so that's what we try.
You mentioned the lady that gave you the hug. That's a great story, right?
Yep.
So, any other kind of transformations you've had with any of the school groups that you've dealt with?
Well, I can share one that I was blessed to speak to a group in New Mexico not too very long ago, and had a lady come up and literally hug my neck, brand new director, and tell me how great it was to be working with us. And I asked her why. And she said, well, it's because you've made everything so simple for my staff. I have so much to deal with every single day that demands my time. And the new training mandate demands a lot of time, and we've made it so simple that's one thing she doesn't have to worry about. She said that's one thing. It's kind of I know that it's done. I'm confident. I have peace of mind.
Right.
It's taken care of for my staff, and I just don't worry about it. And so that was a great compliment, I thought, to us and to West.
So anyone out there, so the people that you're targeting, they need this training, and now you provide it in a succinct way, correct?
Absolutely.
We can get information to learn more about this. You're giving away something free, aren't you, on the website here?
I want to give away a copy of my Simple Solutions for Communication. It's 7 simple tips for building better relationships. It was kind of my first book, and it was kind of the core of what got me started speaking. Arrogant, but I think it's good. So we're going to give away an e-copy of that along with with some other information.
And you can find that right here on the bottom of the website.
Yep.
Yeah. You've trained tens of thousands of workers across many states now, right? Southwest Training Systems.
Literally.
Yeah.
We've been in business 15 years, but in the last 5 years alone, we've performed over 40,000 hours of training and committed almost 3 million food safety hazard verification checks amongst our customers.
Wow.
So I would think it's safe to say that we are the leading authority on school nutrition and food safety training in the United States.
Now, Wes, where do you see the company going?
Well, I mean, as soon as Food Handler Solutions, as soon as we get the word out about this tool, this is going to be a nationwide program. This is going to be something that you'll see in schools from California all the way over to North Carolina, South Carolina.
Don't forget
and
Hawaii.
Everything in between. And Hawaii also.
And Florida.
And Alaska, Florida. This is going to be something that you'll see all over the country. It's not a mandate that's going to go away. USDA is not going to change their regulations and what they require. This is going to be something that's going to be huge.
Without mentioning names, there have been a few national restaurant chains with some issues with food safety, and I would imagine maybe somewhere down the line there might be an opportunity there for you guys in the restaurant world.
Absolutely. I mean, schools are a passion, but restaurants, we mentioned 76 million Americans get sick every year with foodborne illness.
Wow.
And the vast majority of those aren't in schools. There's a huge opportunity
None of them
for
are in
us.
schools.
Yeah.
So you would, that's very interesting. That
Yeah.
None of them are in schools. That is a
Wow.
great statistic to have. But now you're making this available to people who own restaurants, work in restaurants. How's that going to work?
Absolutely. So this is going to be an offering that'll be available for restaurants as well, a completely customizable portal for your company. You can have your company logo, you can have your company's trainings on there. And
White
they won't have
label
stock.
program, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you have a customized program for your organization.
Right.
Awesome. You know, when you look at your son, how is it all going? Kind of.
It's going great. Yeah. It's good. It's good to know that my future is in his hands, and because that's kind of the way I feel. And and it's I could not be prouder. I cannot, as a dad, I appreciate what he said earlier, but I cannot be prouder as a dad because it's I think every dad's dream is to do 2 things: is to build a good adult relationship with their family and their kids, and to leave a legacy that hopefully will go on beyond them. And I'm thinking that that's in pretty good hands right now.
I worked with my father for many years, and he mentored me for since I was 11 years old all the way, and then now I have my son, who's 28 years old, part of my team. So it's passing as you say, the legacy on.
Does it have its challenges? Absolutely. But we've learned that we get along great.
Well, but now you've been in this for a while now. Tell me about your future in terms of the business. Where do you see all this going? It's kind of exciting. You're still as passionate as when you started?
I'm more passionate. I mean, my passion for this industry grows every single day.
Why?
It grows because of the people. And it started out with Miss Judy, and it didn't end there. Every single person I come in contact with in this industry has a unique story, and it just touches you in some way. And they're so loving, and they love what they do. No one got into the school nutrition industry to get rich. I mean, there's not a single person that said, you know what, I'm going to go and work in the school cafeteria because I want to make a fortune. No, they got into it because they love it.
Yeah.
They love the kids. They're passionate about what they do, and it's infectious.
Yes. So speaking, authoring, coaching, training, maybe someday Wes might fill some of those shoes and maybe get up on stage and do a little speaking possibly.
Maybe.
Huh?
Maybe.
Yeah.
We've done some stuff together, so we'll see what happens.
It's a great opportunity. So the free information that they're going to get, what's in that?
We're going to give them a free copy of the Simple Solutions for Communication book that we talked about earlier, and also we're going to provide some just some general information. Give them some links to not only our Food Handler Solutions website, but also bartchristian.com, which is my personal speaking website, where there's literally a ton of resources for posting things to uplift your staff and good positive motivational stuff that we provide for free. Because to be honest with you, I have people ask me all the time, why do you give so much stuff away? And I believe you reap what you sow, and I believe you get what you give. And if we want to get good back from folks, I believe we need to give good to them. And so I've made a practice of that in not only our business, but also in my personal life.
I was always told in terms of like dating stuff, you look at the mother, you look at the daughter, kind of think about how you're going to grow up. When you talk about reaping what you sow and creating a legacy for people. Because what I've heard from people who you speak in front of, that while it's very important, the training that you do, but the heart. And when looking at your son and the dedication, the fact that you work together says so much about you and your message. And I think everyone at home needs to hear it's a lot of content that's free. That we could all benefit from. You know, I'm sure you have some theories about your dad that you passed to your sons, but I also want to hear more about how you work together as an organization, how you get people happy. You don't hear that a lot in business.
Yeah, well, it is a challenge in today's world. In today's world, I think that the biggest challenge is attitude. Now, a lot of people talk about attitude, but you know, I think that attitude is a lot of times a choice, and it's not so much the choice of what happens to you, it's the choice of how you deal with what happens to you. And I hope in some way that we're sharing, you know, a little joy. We love what we do, and you know, and I think that comes across in what we do. My wife spent almost 10 years in a cafeteria working as a lunch lady. So we have, it goes deep in our family. And so when we say we love school nutrition, we have a passion for school nutrition, and we sit around the kitchen table sometimes and talk about school nutrition, it ain't a lie. I mean, that's really what we do, and it really is. It's penetrated our entire family.
Wes, we're just about out of time. Any last thing that you might want to say?
I mean, thank you so much for this opportunity. We're super excited to get more information to people. So please, definitely, I would encourage everyone to check our information on this page. Seek out more information about my dad, and then also seek out more information about what we're doing in restaurants and what we're doing in schools.
As the leaders in food safety and nutrition and all that good stuff, thanks for being with us, guys. Bart and West Christian, father and son team, great to have you here.
Thank you both of you.
Thank you.
This was awesome, you guys.
All right.
All right, well, thank you so much. Of course, we'll be back. We'll see you again next time.